you. I'm going to use that teleprompter app. No, I'm kidding. Whenever I do one of these events, I always end up sitting in my chair and like rewriting my speech like over and over again. I want to thank you all for printing this out for me, but I'm going to go off script. I moved to New York City in 2008 to make it on Broadway. And no one told me that to be on Broadway, it helps to be able to sing and dance. No one told me that, so I didn't make it on Broadway. And then I also came here to become a stand-up comedian, and then I discovered drag. I just saw it on TV. I remember clipping through TiVo, if you remember TiVo, and I thought, oh my God, RuPaul has a show. I'm gonna record this and then come home and watch it later. And then I came back and I was just hooked. So I said, I'm gonna go out into the New York City. I'm gonna find some drag. I'm gonna go find some drag. I'm gonna be a part of it. And I found this competition, and it was hosted by this queen named Shaquita. It had a big picture of Shaquita. If you don't know, Shaquita is this absolutely stunning drag queen, black drag queen, Jamaican. She has blonde hair. And I showed up to Barracuda, R.I.P. Barracuda. And when I showed up, what I saw was this beautiful black drag queen with blonde hair. And I walked up to her and I said, oh my gosh, Shaquita, my name is Kitten with a Whip, and I'm gonna win this competition tonight. And it wasn't Shaquita, it was Peppermint. I was looking at a very old ad. I said, wow, Shaquita got prettier. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a dig at Shaquita. She's not even here to defend herself. But then, I started growing up under the watchful eye of this drag queen. There are three specific drag queens who really raised me in New York City. Bianca Del Rio, Sherry Vine, and Peppermint. You could not go to a bar and not see one of those three queens. And I worshiped at the feet of these queens every Monday night watching Peppermint. I learned so much. And then one day, Peppermint she was selling by hand, y'all, by hand after every show, tickets to a fundraiser at the Ali Forney Center. Like literally when I tell you like after the show, you give her money, she gives you a ticket, you give her money, she gives you a ticket. And it was all to raise money, and I had never seen anyone do this. And I bought a ticket to that show, and I went, and I saw a drag performer putting on a big, magnificent, amazing show in a theater, using her art to advocate. And that is why I decided to do the things that I did, because I saw someone that I admired doing it. And I just want to thank you so much for that. Peppermint is such an icon. I can't even put it into words. I'm going to give you a parable. So a young man and his brother inherit a house from their father. And then one of the brothers goes, oh man, the ceiling is leaking. We got to get this ceiling fixed. And then he looks around and goes, oh man, there's mold. There's mold in the corners. We got to get that fixed. Oh man, the foundation is completely rotted. We have to get that fixed. And then the other brother goes, well, if you don't like the house, just move. Since you hate the house so much, just move since you hate the house. And the other brother goes, I don't hate this house. I love this house, and that's why I want to fix it. And I see that exact same thing every time someone mentions what they don't love about this country, what could be better about this country. Someone wearing an ugly red hat goes, if you don't like this country, if you don't like the leaky ceiling, just move. I like the leak. It makes me feel nice. And when you talk to, I was looking at the news. I was actually looking at my table, and I was really shocked by this because I was in a whirlwind of a day. And everyone kept being like, everyone's good day. It's all things considered. What happened? I kept being like, what the fuck happened today? I was like trying to get here. And then I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Because obviously, if you know a trans person, you would never vote on something like that. And I don't mean like every conservative, like I know a trans, I don't mean like a person who walked into your restaurant once a month 10 years ago. I mean actually know a trans, and they all say I think they're all just talking about Caitlyn Jenner. That's the one. That's the one. They all know the same trans person. It's got to be her. But if you knew a trans person, you would never vote on something like that. If you knew what people go through, if you knew the anxiety that people can have just trying to be yourself. I do want to thank all of you for this honor today. I want to emphasize how important it is to stand in solidarity with oppressed and maligned groups around the world, especially trans and non-binary people in the USA today who are afraid to travel to see loved ones, children in Palestine suffering horrendous atrocities. And everyday Americans who don't see a bright side to our future. But if you're black in this room, I want to talk to you for a second. Because I know we can be in an echo chamber, but I want you to know this. If you're black in this room, I want to remind you that you are the most resilient person on the planet. You really are. They gave us garbage, and we made gourmet. They gave us scraps of fabric, and we truly made couture fashion. They even gave us bondage, and we made institutions and infrastructure. We are not only the fabric of this society, but we are the thread keeping this entire godless nation together. It's true. They literally could not have built this country without us, and I assure you, they cannot sustain it without us either. Everyone in this room has some privilege. All of you. Every one of you. I'm telling you, you got some privilege. You might have to look hard to find it. But I assure you, you have some smidge of privilege. And you have the opportunity to use it. And I want to take this, I might lose the room on this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. I want to use the opportunity to talk to my fellow non-binary people in this room with me today. I am non-binary, but I am aware that in this world, I am having a man's experience. When people see me, they don't go, that's a they, them, using they, them pronouns and a bit bop boot. They see a big black gay man. That's who they see. And that's the experience I have. That's how I navigate the world. So I use that privilege that I have to amplify voices of people who might not be taken as seriously as me. Because I understand how I'm being perceived. Right? So, you have an opportunity to amplify voices like Peppermint. Today I was listening to, is Shia Diamond, are you still here? I hope she is. She had to leave, it's fine. I was listening to Shia Diamond's song and she came up here, and it was her song, Smile. And those lyrics, it is actually a really upbeat song, but those lyrics, that song are so powerful. She said, if I can smile, baby, you can too. If I can slay, you got no excuse. If I can smile, baby, you can too. Because I have taken roads the average hoe has never ever knew. And that's true. So I want you to find what privilege you have today. Every one of you. I'm talking to everybody in this room. If you are you able-bodied? Are you white? Are you perceived as cisgender? Do you have money? Do you live in a high-rise apartment? Do you live in America? How did you get here today? Look into yourself. Find what privilege you have and use it to help someone who doesn't have the privilege that you have. The last thing I'm going to say is this. Every bit helps. Every little bit helps. Don't let anyone tell you you're not doing enough. Every little bit helps. Because everyone can't go down in March. Everyone can't get arrested. But everyone can do something. I'm telling you, you can do something. When they're donating money, you may not be able to raise your paddle and give $10,000. Can you give $1? Can you give 50 cents? You might not be able to go to the protest. Can you retweet it? Can you post the infographic in your Instagram? Can you do that? You might not be able to go down to the protest, but can you tell your transphobic and homophobic parents that you need to change your behavior? Thank you all so much for your time today. Find your privilege and apply it. Thank you so much.